Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Region Niners. Welcome to December's month of I Am Region 9 podcast. I am Jackie, and this is
Isamar. And this is
Todd, your grateful and ever humble president. and today it's cold here in Orange County, and so I have my sweatshirt on, and I'm representing my alma mater, Cal State Fullerton. Go Titans!
Yay!
and I am representing holidays. Go Christmas.
And I have my mistletoe.
Aloha. Oh, it's
It's
mistletoe.
pink, my favorite color, rose gold actually.
Is there
Mistletoe.
pink mistletoe?
Yes, this actually came from my emergency management department general manager, Carol Parks, and she gave it to me for Christmas in 2019.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I still wear it. So welcome everyone. As we're talking about the holidays, happy holidays. We are rounding out 2022, and Region 9 has been very busy this year. We have done so many great things. We've launched this mega thing that I know we'll probably talk more about later. But first and foremost, we hope everybody had a fabulous Thanksgiving, and we're hoping that you guys are planning to have a great holiday season, being prepared and ready, and not putting candles on your Christmas trees, guys. We know it's tempting, but please don't do that. So, Isamar, what do we have on topic for today?
Alrighty, so it's our year in review 2022, and it's been a long year, but it went by so quick, which is so odd. It's always this paradox that the year is so long, but it goes by just like that. So in our kind of our recap, we were able to do the podcast. We got a couple good guests coming out. We were able to highlight our small businesses. We were able to highlight women and empowerment. It's been a really good ride, and right now we're actually scheduling out for next year, so stay tuned for that. But for our webinars, actually, we've been able to create a more cohesive relationship with our state associations, because we did have our state associations on our February webinar, sorry. And it was just to really reach out and let everyone know that we're in it together. We are ready to move forward as one cohesive unit, and we all represent each other. It was really good. Todd?
Yeah, I think what's I'm most proud about is the 2022 symposium that we had to quickly switch, right? We were going to be in person, and then COVID reared its ugly head again, and we got to the virtual symposium, and I think it was pretty successful. For the quick switch and what it was well attended. I think we had something like around 78 attendees, something around there. And really great speakers, and some people were able to see the event after it played, and it just really brought our little Region 9 together in one location, although virtually. And I'm looking forward to, we'll talk about this later, I suppose, but look at the 2023 symposium live in the original location, which is really kind of cool.
I think one of the major points that our members and just anybody who's listening to our podcast needs to know is one of the big things that we've started, or we brought back, which was our strategic planning meeting for the region. That was a huge effort that was brought by the board, as mostly by you, Todd, and pushed by Troy. And I think for many years, we knew kind of where we want, but there was nothing strategically placed or even hashed out or spoken about. And we did talk about it in a couple of the podcasts, but I would love, Todd, for you to give us a synopsis on it, because I think a lot of things that was discussed there really embraced why 2022 happened the way it did and what to expect for 2023.
Yeah, one of the things that we really wanted to do was increase our membership here in Region 9. And we did so, and we also brought in student membership. We increased the student membership, and right now we're working with ASU to bring a student chapter back. And so I think that's pretty exciting. We also created, or I didn't say created, we expanded the advisory board and Jack, I'll let you talk a little bit about that, to include a couple of new positions. And one of them, which I was really excited about, was to bring on Vance Taylor to come on board as the advisory for Daphne issues. And then also the other person who I think is pretty excited to have on there, and we'll let you talk about this, is our judicial emergency management, and that was brand new, created by Jackie, her idea. And then we brought on board we'll let her talk about that. So go ahead and talk about the judicial EM.
Yes. No, thank you. First and foremost, we actually introduced, I call him the godfather of judicial EM, but he is very humble and say that I'm crazy when I say this, but I still in my heart believe it. It was Justin Mammon, and we had him as a guest. I think it was July or August. I forgot when we had him, and we really spoke about it because we have 3 branches of government, and we usually, when it comes to emergency management, always focus on the executive branch of government, right? And then the legislation that supports emergency management or whatever public safety areas we do. But the one big part of the branch of government we always fail to think of, and I brought it in not only because I was a judicial emergency manager, but because when I became a judicial emergency manager, I felt so bad that I never included the court system. And it's such a high impact division of emergency management that really has a lot of limitations in the sense of it's brand new. They think of EM as safety or law enforcement only based a lot, which is traditional. So it's not they're wrong. It's just it's what people think of. But also how much of a key player they are with our local jurisdictions, because not only do they have to deal with their employees or some of the public, but the incarcerated who is there actively at the courthouse at any given time. Judicial officers who are elected officials who have threats against them at any given time. Jurors, volunteers, and then the public. But the biggest thing was they have to conduct business within 72 hours after any disaster. So there was not support, and Region 9 is the pilot. Yes, we're saying this. We are the pilot region that introduced to this. Correct me if I'm wrong, Todd.
No, you're right.
So we were the pilot region to start this, and they are 12 deep now, minus me. So they're still 12 deep, and they're doing great strides. And so kudos to Justin Mammon, and thank you, Todd, for supporting the initiative, which then turned to getting AFN, getting the veterans. And that was a big push that we did this year, too, to make sure that our veterans, both in emergency management, but our vets, are well taken care of and reflected through our services. And I know that was your passion, Todd. So
yeah,
I'm going to talk about that since you allowed me to do judicial EM.
Yeah, so one of the things that we wanted to do is make sure that we were helping veterans that were transitioning out of the military and into emergency management with mentors and with others that have gone before them and worked through. Because sometimes when you take a look at a veteran's resume, they don't understand what they've done in the military that really that parlays over to what we do as emergency management. And they'll go, oh, well, I have all this time, I have my school, but I really don't have any experience. And you're like, no, you do. Let's look through this and help them through that. And that was one of the things that we're working with the veterans, and specifically, working along with a lot of the Team Rubicon members who are veterans that have other experiences outside of the military. And I've been really happy that I've, written plenty of letters of recommendation for some of these veterans to get in. And it's always exciting when they get hired into a position. And it was some of the stuff that we were able to help them with through that transition. So that's one of the things that we're doing, and really important to me specifically as a veteran, but also helping those that are transitioning out and getting good jobs when they get out of the military. A couple other things that we're working on too was really highlighting diversity in emergency management with Leslie Luke and his doing, I was gonna say his organizations, but he's leading it in the sense of the DEI and a lot of the work that Leslie's been doing, which I think is exciting with the historical Black universities and colleges and universities, HBCUs. And this year in Savannah, he was able to bring more HBCUs in, including a president of a university that right there in Savannah, and some others, and scholarships for CEM taking, and also getting students from the historical Black universities and colleges to the symposium, to the conference, and Isamar and I were talking. We're at the conference, and I was like, wow. I mean, like this year's conference, I think was probably the most diverse I've seen it. And this is what my 10th conference I've gone to, and it's probably the most diverse I've seen it in both on the floor. When I mean the floor, on the expo floor, where they're showing companies, but also just walking around the hallway. It
was really great to see the diversity of the communities we represent, how we represent ourselves, and just being more inclusive. It's been so eye-opening, and even the diversity on the stage, that was good too.
Mm-hmm.
And you did mention a great mentor to me, Leslie Luke. I just want to take the opportunity through our podcast to thank him for everything he has done for IAM USA, IAM Region 9, being such an impactful leader and just overall emergency manager, and never is selfish in promoting emergency management or taking the time to speak to you about it, or if he doesn't know, putting you in the same place. And with DEI, he did the exact same thing for things that he made DEI cool before it became an actual hot topic term. Let's just be real. I mean, maybe I'm a little partial because he's a Region 9 member, but he did. He brought it to the forefront, and he also engaged in a lot of, like, not only the historical Black colleges and universities, but also organizations like California Women in Homeland Security, like IPSA. So he really understood it, and I think it was a lot of the effort for his leadership and the caucus that we're seeing it reflected at conferences.
I mean, you also have the leadership that he had with the committee, or the caucus and committee at IAM USA. It's because of the new that group that the new bylaws are in place.
I was about to say the same thing. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's thank you for pointing that out, Isamar. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely, the bylaws is a champion. So that is very true. Also, we were talking about HBCUs. I mean, yes, and the students and all that. But something that I know, Isamar, it's dear to your heart, is the emerging EMs, the Aspires and the emerging EMs, and that has been a forefront of 2022 also for Region 9. So I wanted to see if you want to touch about what we've been doing and with Maddie, etc.
Yeah, so it's actually another thing of the whole bylaws and amendments that were coming out, because now there's a determination in between emerging and being a professional in the field, and it is that much more difficult just to get in the field, just to get a little pinky toe in the doorway. So, but now the doors are opening up, and it's really good. There's the Emerging Professionals Caucus, and then we're also having our own type of mentorship here within the region, and it's really taking off. So, good things.
Jackie, your camera just went crazy.
The lights of the facility.
One of the things I want to talk about too is the Climb and Lift initiative that Carol Seawick started. If you've seen on my show, if you listen to the podcast, we actually highlight every month somebody from Climb and Lift to be there. And I guess we just lost Jackie. Sorry about that.
Turn on
I got you. And so there she is. So the climb and lift, and I know that's close to Jackie's heart as well, as is really highlighting women in emergency management, and helping, highlight that, and some of the great leaders that we are seeing with the women in emergency management and the climb and lift program, I think is pretty exciting as well. And well, looking through our notes over here, I think the other thing that we should kind of get into here is what was our theme for 2022, and did we really make that theme?
So the theme for Preparedness Month, right? Like our biggest holiday as emergency managers, or emergency management professionals, rather, because we're not all called emergency managers, right? We go by different titles, different roles. But for our biggest preparedness month, which is September, our National Preparedness Month, the theme was a lasting legacy. And I think we were able to touch that for Region 9. We've been able to use this model that we had from our past president, Yuri Graves, of the crawl, walk, run type of mentality of starting off small with first, let's get webinars going, then let's get a symposium going, let's get the podcast. And so we are leaving a lasting legacy for the region, for IAM USA in general, of like, yes, this is feasible, this is possible, and we are making that legacy. We have a judicial EM. We're making Leslie Luke's leadership also provided the bylaws update, right, and everything of the DEI caucus and committee. So I think we hit it right on the nail.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this really quick, is like I'm really proud of the work that the region has done, and the members of that came and said, hey, I want to be part of this leadership, and stepped up and really led things. I want to point, I don't want to miss anybody, but Greg Papasan, for instance, awesome on getting membership and the work he's done with the student members. I brought this out. And then Troy, the work that Troy has done, our vice president, he likes to be in the background, but he's really doing a lot of good work over there. I just want to say thank you for him as well. Other members of our committee, and one of the things I think is interesting is that you guys might not know is we get a small budget, and it used to be the budget was like this, like mystery, right? Okay, here's like a few $1,000s, and the president can use the money at the discretion. And I worked hard with Lindsay to make sure that it's not just the president's budget, right? It's everybody's budget, and we were able to use this, and Lindsay had to learn through the hard system of what does it mean to spend it, and how to actually get the checks written, and wow, what a process that was, and learning curve. But the cool part about it is now we have checks and balances that are here, and I was able to support other emergency managers throughout the region. We were able to support other smaller organizations such as NEPA, and write a check for them to be able to help them get their organization up for their symposium or conference, or whatever it's called. The symposium, I think it's called a symposium. And so that was kind of cool to be able to do that, and to support our state jurisdictions, and we're there to be able to do this, and so working with this budget. And then I want to go back over to our symposium that we're having again in 2023, is that the money that we raise, right, that if you're coming to the symposium, the money that you spend for this, and the money that we raise through our vendors and stuff, is going directly back to you in this region. That's the cool part about it, right? So you come and you spend a couple $100 here in Orange County for this year. Next year, wherever it's going to be, we haven't decided on that. But the idea is you go to this, spend a little bit of money, and that money's going directly back to the region to support, the CISA and NEPA, and Arizona's kind of restructuring what they're doing to support having meetings in Hawaii, and hopefully the islands, but the idea is to do that with this money that's coming in. It's not about raising money for IEM National to do whatever. It's about specifically right here in our region and to be able to spend it on cool things,
And
that's
even supporting back. And one of the cool things that people don't know is the AEM and CEM exams we were doing, right? And some of that actually takes budget from the region to support, even though we've been very gracious to have cities and counties to support large exams. There is some background in the Region 9 area that it's very minimal, but it is so we can push emergency management out to the members who want to be an AEM and CEM through our program. And one of the things I think, Todd, you touched, and I I think this is the reason why I'm an IEM member, because we always talk about this whole community approach and how, oh yeah, you bring your stakeholders, oh yeah, you bring this, you bring that, but it's always like bringing it together. And sometimes when we are like in regions or we're in sections, we only think about it. But what we've done in 2022, and you've been pivotal in bringing this, is really branching out and bringing the whole region together, and not just in like Nevada, or not just in California, and not just in Hawaii, but like really together, whether it was virtually or through these expenses or these supports of other things, because emergency management is emergency management is emergency management. And I think that has been very spectacular and very loud, um, from you as president to our membership.
Even reflected at the conference in Savannah for the IAM annual conference, there was over 70 people, or 70. There was over 100 people there.
118.
118 just in the meeting, and we already know that there weren't people, familiar faces in that meeting. Mm-hmm. So there had to be more.
You know what's really cool about that? Two things. One is that we have had other IEM Region 9 members who couldn't make that meeting for whatever reason due to conflict, and actually called me and said, "Hey, I'm so sorry I missed that meeting," because I heard they heard about it. And I just want to say thank you for Jackie as well for coordinating with Troy on getting a virtual portion of that meeting done, which was really kind of blew my mind of like how we had the virtual team online as well. And that's the first time that we've ever had virtual at the conference meeting. We'll do that again this year for Long Beach. Hopefully we'll have more people in that meeting. But I remember being at the Long Beach meeting a few years ago, and I think we had like 25 people in the room, and I think it's great that in Savannah, Georgia, we had so many people representing Region 9 and so many people in that room. And the best part about it was I've been in some of those regional meetings where it's a bloody battle, right? Of asking questions about, hey, this or whatever, getting upset with the president for, and I'm going to tell you, we didn't have any questions necessarily at the end. And it's not because of me necessarily. I think it's because of our team, that what we've done differently is we can, with this, right? This podcast is a great example of it, is we're communicating what we're doing in the region, right? We have the podcast with Jackie and Isamar. We have the newsletter that goes out with Jessica and Isamar kind of doing that, and Jackie as well. The input from our advisory board on a monthly, which is now going to a quarterly meeting, with each member from from all over, members from each state that's in the region, and really empowering our members to be members and to go out and do some cool stuff. And I'm just excited and blown away by how you go to a region meeting and there's no arguing, and that just was a great feeling to go walk away from that meeting with.
What I was so impressed with in that meeting, and I was on the virtual end, unfortunately, was Santa Clara really represented, no, but in truth, all our states represented. I think we were just missing a few people from like Guam or the smaller islands, but all the majors, the territories, let's say, but all 4 states that we represent was there, and they were there both virtually and physically. And I don't know, I can't say how the other region meetings are, but I haven't been to a region meeting that I can honestly say that every seat was there and representing and happy and talking and smiling and posing for pictures and didn't say, "Let's get the heck out of here."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm done, leave," or "I'm out of here. I'm going to go do my next round." And that is a testament to a lasting legacy. Which
I-
means, does that mean that our shoes are going to be a little larger for 2023?
Yeah, I think so. Because let's. I know we're not recapping or we're not going into 2023. We're supposed to be recapping 2022, but I do want to talk about 2023 for a second. So first of all, we've probably mentioned this a couple times if you haven't heard, but there's a symposium coming in on February 28th, March 1st and 2nd. So it's going to be in Long Beach, not Long Beach. We'll be in Long Beach in 2023, but not this particular one. It's going to be in Garden Grove. So there's some great hotels and some other things to do around the area. I know Jackie's working hard and getting some great sponsors. I know there's a few of them that talked to me at the symposium at the conference that said they want to be at the symposium. And then on the other side of it too, right, is we have our 2023 conference in Long Beach, right? And I'm going to make the announcement here, even though we haven't secured it yet, because Jackie should be securing this, I think, is getting the boat ride in Long Beach Harbor as a fundraiser for what we're doing. And we will be doing that. So I'm excited about that. I pick on Jackie because it was her idea. And so
I'm logging off now.
Yeah. And so we're going to be doing the boat ride.
Yeah.
You're hosting.
I might have to paddle boat it if it has to be a paddle boat, but we will have some sort of boat ride in the harbor. I know that producer Brian in the background, he's more than willing to paddle the boat as well. So, right. And then so those are a couple of the big things, but we're going to be doing some small regional kind of fun things. And this is a challenge I'm going to put out today. Right, Jackie and Isamar don't even know about this. Right, this is brand new, hot off the press. So Daniel Scott, and I were talking, and we said, "Hey, we're gonna go to Long Beach, and we're gonna make a video about how great Long Beach is, and for the regional symposium, or for the region conference, for the national conference." Right. What I want to see from all of our other people from Region 9 is a little video, a little vignette about how cool your area of Region 9 is, whether it's in Nevada, Arizona, Northern California, Hawaii, or the islands, right? So love to see something from y'all if you submit this to us, and that way we can kind of put this up on our Region 9 webpage. And that way we can see how cool Region 9 truly is and what we're representing when we have our conference. And one thing that has not been done in all the other regions is there hasn't been a region presence. What I mean, like we know we're in the different regions, but there hasn't been that region push. And I want to have a Region 9 push from all over the place and really highlight. And so one of the things that we are going to do is we will hold a Region 9 outside of the boat ride, right? We're going to hold a Region 9 mixer. And I would like to highlight all of the areas, what we're doing throughout the region at the mixer. And so, yeah, so those are two things that we're going to do. We're going to do the boat ride, and we're going to do the Region 9 mixer. Trust the press.
Anything else for any kind of like sneak peeks back there? Just dishing them out one after another. What's next?
That's it. Those are the cool.
Are you sure? I heard like there might be things coming in and around in 2023 that you might want to wrap or not wrap. Is that true?
Well, okay. So I'm gonna say this though, and because this is kind of funny, all right? And it's the Region 9 symposium, and the first night we're gonna have a mixer, and we're going to have a movie being played. And I jokingly said, hey, if we're playing this particular movie, we need to have it as a musical because it's such a campy movie. It's like an old movie. I said we need to have it as a musical. And so be it. The people took up the challenge and said they're going to do some craziness with this movie. So I don't want to ruin it too much, but that's as much as I'm going to say about it.
You got to be there at the symposium. You just got to be there.
I do want to see the musical rendition of "Push the Bus Over." That's all I want to say. We're looking for lead singers and dancers and choreographers for that particular one.
I'm staying quiet until February 28th.
Push it over, push the bus over. All right.
So we have to wrap it up, Todd. But I wanted to do a push for volunteers for all our committees, but in one in particular that we spoke a lot about, but it's because it really was reflective of what we did in 2022, not only as a region, but as a national, and it's the bylaw committee. So we are really grateful that Ashley and Keith Harrison, but mostly Ashley, is taking the reins with Troy to lead our Region 9 bylaw subcommittee. And they can't do it alone. They really want a true reflection of the diversity of Region 9 to be a part of this, to continue to leave this legacy well until 2023. So if you guys are really interested, please email us or drop us a comment and the direct message us on our social media. But you could do IEM R9 at IEM.com. That's directly to Mr. President. And we will go ahead and do it throughout. But that is one of the ways that we leave legacies. And another call to volunteers is Symposium. We've been talking about it for 2023. So please come out if you're interested in being a part of the Symposium and you don't know if you could be there to plan the whole thing, but just want to participate even the day of, whether it's just help set up or volunteer with the talks or however, please email us and we will put that on there. But you can use the same email and we would love to have it because it takes our EM family for all the success to happen. It's not just the three people you're hearing or seeing at this moment. It is the family. It's the Region 9 family that makes things happen. So I did promise I would do those 2 pushes up for volunteerism in our region. And if you know of a committee or you want to be a part of a committee, please reach out to us and we will accordingly put you together. Before we have Todd closing out year 2022, Isamar, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Stay tuned because 2023 is going to be a blast.
Todd,
yeah,
for 2022 and then going into 2023.
First of all, I truly, to both you, Isamar and Jackie, I thank you so much for doing this podcast. I think it's critical to what we're doing and to the mission of IEM Region 9. I also want to thank you for your friendship and guidance and counsel, throughout the year and the stuff that you've done. And there's a lot of work that these 2 ladies are doing in the background that you probably would never think about. And they truly are the glue that keeps Region 9 together. And I do appreciate everything that you guys do. And I want to wish you both a very, very merry and happy Christmas and a great new year as we close out 2022, in this holiday season. And I wish everybody to say, as I say all the time, everybody stay safe and stay hydrated.
Oh, yes, I have mine too. And most importantly, we say it at the end of every show, but today even more so because we're grateful for all of you. And we always say it sincerely, but even more so with a warm holiday wishes. But ready, Isamar?
Let's go.
Keep on rocking, Region Niners. We appreciate you. Yeah, mahalo. Happy 2022.